In today's world, our understanding of melee weapons is often shaped by movies, books, and video games. The creators of this content, however, are often far removed from history. Not only are they not experts, but many aren't even enthusiasts of the topic. The weapon we're discussing today rarely shows up in films or books, and at first glance it might seem like some kind of bizarre mistake. Honestly, that's exactly what I used to think about it. Today, we'll be talking about flexible, jointed impact weapons. This fancy term covers a wide variety of gear, most famously flails, chains, and morning stars. At its core, this weapon consists of a striking weight attached to a chain or strap, with either a one-handed or two-handed handle. At first glance, it might look clumsy and pointless. That's what I thought too, until I attended a historical reenactment event back in my student days. One of the participants had a makeshift flail, where the striking end was nothing more than a leather pouch stuffed with fabric scraps. Despite its improvised design, this thing hit hard, even through mock armor, and was nearly impossible to block. The flexible chain would wrap around a sword or shield edge, allowing the weight to strike its target over and over again. My next surprise came when I saw real historical flail weights. Many of them were barely bigger than a button, which made me pretty skeptical. Most of these weights ranged from 60 to 300 grams. It's hard to imagine what damage such a small object could do. However, according to Anatoly Kirpichnikov, a noted cold weapons expert, even these lighter examples could deliver strikes with a force of 14 kilograms. For context, it only takes 8 kilograms to break any bone in the human body. The force of a strike depends on mass and acceleration. Thanks to the flexible chain, acceleration was pretty high. Dr. Vadim Pleskachevsky, using archaeological experiments, calculated that flails could reach a speed of 9 radians per second, about 1.5 rotations. This flexibility gave flails two key advantages: the ability to bypass shields or sword blocks, and a devastating impact even with a small weight. Plus, all the strike's energy concentrated on a small contact area. Compact when folded, flails became lethal tools when fully extended, with a striking range often exceeding that of most single-handed weapons. It's hard to estimate the force of a two-handed flail strike, but it was enough for Czech peasants during the Hussite Wars to repel 5 crusades and crush Europe's finest knights. Of course, credit shouldn't go to the flail alone. Wagons and tabor tactics played their part, but flails were certainly one factor in their victories. But if flails and chains were so effective, why didn't they become widely popular? The issue wasn't that they were hard to use defensively. Blocking with an axe isn't easier, and swordplay involving constant blade-on-blade clashes is more of a Hollywood invention. Most strikes were absorbed by shields. The real challenge was that flails required skill and space to wield. They weren't well suited for tight formations, limiting their use in military ranks. These were weapons for smaller skirmishes. More often, they were tools for self-defense, the preferred weapons of bandits, or a backup for warriors when the situation allowed their use. Nowadays, just owning a flail in many countries is illegal and could even land you in prison.